Incoming audio transmission. Something's happening, Tenno.
Hello there, Tenno, and welcome to another episode of the Warframe Digest. This time it is episode 30, and we're going over Devstream 48, also known as TennoLIVE 2015. Last time I covered TennoLIVE, it was Digest 17, Devstream 35.
It appears as if someone is actually attempting to contact you.
Ordis, I'm recording. They cannot contact me right now. Okay. So it's been a long time since the last TennoLIVE. It's been a year. It's been a very long year. But it's time to cover the next TennoLIVE, and enough dilly-dallying. Ordis was interrupting. So, let's go over a couple things that they covered. Some things were a little bit more amusing than others, and some things kind of left people like, oh, like last year's TennoLIVE where they showed off Arcwing. So, let's start off. So, the first thing they talked about that actually was very nice to open with is Red Skittles finally got acknowledgement. And by that I mean, Red Skittles submitted a weapon and won a weapon in the weapon community contest, he said a year and some months ago. So, it's been a long time since he won that, and his weapon has been a long time coming. So, what am I talking about for newcomers and all that? We're talking about the Mios, the community weapon, the Infested Blade, the Chain Kama, he's gonna slaughter me for not representing it correctly. But it's in engine, at least for now. So, what does that mean? Okay, as you can see right now, let's actually remove my little banner and things like that. And, oh, look at that. Oh, they're presenting the weapon. It looks shiny. It looks imposing. And, boom! We have the Mios. That looks incredible. Oh, wait, what? It opens? Wow, that looks interesting. It looks just like the concept art. The reason it's taken so long is because the dev team were intimidated. The animation team and the concept team were intimidated. This was a very unique weapon. It is a very unique weapon to them, and it's something so strange and so difficult for them that they want to represent it correctly in game. And they're going out of their way and changing so much just to get this weapon to its described nature in the game. And I'm excited. Red's excited. A lot of people are excited. Other people are like, Anywho. And it's gonna come out some point this year. That's vague. That is really vague. But, oh well. How about another weapon that's coming out right around the corner? I'm gonna get slaughtered for that. It's the Devstream. Devstream. What do you mean? The Dex weapon series has been confirmed in its own way to be the Lotus released weapon set for the anniversary items. Last year we got the Darkfreack, this time we're gonna get the Devstream. The Darkfreack Prime, basically, but dual wielded. So it's not gonna be the Darkfreack Prime, just purple, it's gonna be dual Darkfreacks, and they look beautiful, and here's the model, and oh my goodness, they look so pretty, Lotus purple, blah blah blah. And we'll be getting it with a free slot and a free potato in it. A free catalyst. I really hate using the term potato, but it seems to be universal at this point. And it looks really good, and it's going to be free within a week time span. So you have 7 days to claim it when the anniversary launch hits. We've already passed it? No. I don't even know when was the anniversary last year. It was somewhere in March. But enough dilly-dallying. And they're talking about potential new weapons. And the first new weapon type or potential new weapon of this type is the glaive. But we already have a glaive. We have a slash glaive. This is going to be the first of many new weapons that are going to be puncture based, because we like puncture based weapons in the whole entire game. So the glaive puncture is going to be released at some point, and here's the image, and look at it, it looks pretty. Oh, it looks very imposing. And yeah, so not real much on the side for weapons. Currently, they've showed us 3 weapons, so that's more decent, whatever. And they're also talking about charge attacks being prototypes and being brought in. And let's actually go into some heavier details, because I don't want to make this too long if we dial words about weapons. It's already been 5 minutes. Okay. The Void. They talked about potential changes to the Void. It seemed like a hypothetical, hypothetical words. And I'm very interested by this scenario. And they talked about what happens if we remove the void. Not remove the void in its entirety, but make the void more integral and more of a mixed experience throughout the star chart, where you start certain missions like a hijack and end up in a void, and you get specific void items. So pretty much reduce the grind and expand the availability for these void missions. It sounds very interesting. They said it in a way of destroying the void and repurposing it, recreating it, as many other things in this game have done already. And I'm very interested to see how this goes. What direction does this lead the game into? It seems very ambitious to redesign and make it Void 2.0. That's the joke right now. But it seems like a step forward to reduce the arduous, pointless grind. I'm tired of going and just doing the same Void missions over and over and over and over again, just not to have a better chance at a specific item. And the main reason they're going to start looking into this is because Volt Prime is coming out. They've actually put up a little teaser video. You can see it right here on the little window. I'm not going to full screen it because it's kind of pointless at this point. And yeah, if you throw Volt Prime out there and people want Volt Prime, you don't want to bottleneck them into buying Prime Access. You want some people to earn it if they want to earn it. Still, the grind has to be there for them to get their money, but still, earn it. Like, I've earned all my frames. I have not bought a single one for plat. But then again, I've actually put $200, $300 into Warframe just for Warframe slots and cosmetics. So, I'm paying my fair dues. I just want to earn my frames. I want to feel a sense of progression and achievement. So don't make it impossible for me. I'm paying you guys. I'm helping you. So, help me. And then the big meat of this platter at 7 minutes of this chat. The update 16. What is it? What's going on? What is happening? It's still sometime March. It's still expected to be mid-March. It could be next week or this Wednesday, like 3 days after this video. I highly doubt it, but it can possibly happen. Or the week after. So, speculations. Meh. So, what's the first thing they're talking about? PvP, the PvP revamping. They've talked about how it's been redesigned, how it's been repurposed, how it's been brought back up, how it has a limited scope of certain limited warframes and limited weapons and mods, and things we've already known. It's been rehashed 2 or 3 times already. But what is interesting is they brought up the key point of someone pointing out there seems to be no verticality. There seems to be no emphasis on parkour for PvP. It seems like a blind run and gun experience. Not necessarily. They said there is another map outside the Corpus one that we have not seen, and an example they made was the Orokin map tile. Pretty much the Void tile. Or maybe it's not even in the Void, it's somewhere else. It will be very vertical, it will be clustered, and it will encourage parkour. So we will be running around and using it to our advantage in PvP. They also confirmed publicly, officially, even though they've already done it 2 or 3 times, that the Capture the Flag mode will be Capture the Cephalon. Again, with a rehashing. And one thing that they did say that I found very amusing is Teshin. They gave a little insight to his lore. Teshin is a Tenno that did not go to cryo sleep. He did not go to sleep with the rest of us. He actually stayed behind and observed the Lotus. He's someone that actually contradicts the Lotus. He doesn't believe in her ways, and he blames the Lotus for the downfall of the Orokin Empire. So, what's going on there? There seems to be a conflict of interest, but in the same time, it seems because he wants to help the Tenno the same way the Lotus does. But they're at 2 polar ends. So, we'll see what happens. And it seems very interesting. They also emphasize that Teshin will provide lore chunks through his PvP syndicate in his own little way. So I'm very interested to see how can we get this introduction of lore and how will this fill in the gaps. And then they talked about raids. The raids will be brought in to a 3-part system. A 3-mission system. So you start off the void. You start off the raid and you start off on Earth, for example, as you see on the image behind. And after you beat it, you go straight into Ceres. There is no breaks in between. It is a burn session. Once you start, you have to go through all 3 missions in order to complete and get the end, or the reward. So, you have to be heavily geared, you have to make sure you're on point, and you have a good team. And they're willing to sit down for these raids, like most big MMOs do. Because World of Warcraft, you start a raid, you're not going to quit 5 minutes later. That raid, you're stuck there for half an hour. At least that's what I've heard. Someone could confirm that? Someone's going to bash me for not knowing. Anyway, so this raid is going to be very interesting. It will have its lore, and it will be based on the Eyes of Blight event we had with the destruction of the relays. So, in other words, this is revenge that the Tenno are going to acquire for the Battle Lore for Morians destroying our relays. And we lost a nice hefty few. I think we lost 4? We lost a good deal. And I was there for Earth. I was on Earth when it happened. It was very beautiful. Big fireworks. Expensive fireworks, but very beautiful. The mission will also be dubbed the Law of Retribution. It will be a replayable raid, as the rewards are going to be very interesting with these arcane enhancements. Enhancements that will give us positive procs after doing certain things or being certain conditions to alter the gameplay perspective. And currently the limited slots are only to cosmetics and to the Cyandanas and to the helmets. So we're very bottlenecked for now. It might be expanded later on when balance has been addressed. And they did key out that the minimum raid party will be 4 players. You cannot solo this, but you could do it with your elite squad of 4, or you can go with the full party of 8. And the difficulty will not scale down. So if you have 4 players, it's just as hard as you had 8 players. It will not add more units, it will not reduce the units, it will not do more damage or do less damage. So it is a set in stone game type. So this is going to be very interesting. They also showed off the Sanctuary, which is the library, and they've actually dubbed it officially Sanctuary, as I said. And they showed off Samaris, the Cephalon, on the top. He looks like a light. It's very hard for people to pinpoint where he is until they realize that's the Cephalon. And they talked about scanning enemies for his archive, and he's a data-seeking AI, so again, with a rehash. And one thing that was not rehashed, and I want to close out with, is the Dragon Warframe. The Dragon Frame. His official name is Chroma.
Enter the...
As you can see, Chroma is a mixed bag of stuff. Like, some people love it, some people hate it. I feel necessarily mixed. That's not what I expected at all. But he does look very interesting and infested. Once you get a clear look at him, he isn't really that infested. He's just very rough. But I do hate the helmet. Otherwise, he looks gorgeous, and I might use an alternative helm on him like I used with Trinity at all times. But overall, they did talk about his elements, which is fire, electricity, and ice. Fire will be for red and orange based colors, electricity will be for blue based colors, and ice for the whites. So it's going to limit some people's energy color specs or ranges, but the energy color is what will determine the element type regardless. So it'll be nice to see me and Shade, for example, running with 2 chromas, and I'll be shooting Fire Breath as he shoots Ice Breath. And this wouldn't be a Devstream if the team did not go lollygagging again this time. And this time they showed off the Easter frame, Easter update, Easter, Rise of the Rabbit. And they showed it off in this little tacky little video. And this leads me to believe that the first year I started, it was the green ear with bunny ears. I thought that was their base model. I thought they had ears. And then last year, it was the corpus with bunny ears. So it leaves the last determining factor. It would be either the infested, which we don't see much of, unless you're actually looking for them, or the Tenno, which is going to be hysterical to see everyone running around with bunny ears and people just acting a fool. So it's going to be interesting to see this for Easter. It's going to be wacky, it's going to be dumb, and yeah. So we'll see the actual outro, and we'll talk about that for a split second.
Start out the labyrinth
As you can see, this is the real Update 16 trailer. It emphasizes parkour, it emphasizes verticality, and it looks pretty gorgeous. And also, they show off the sentience, the sentinels, the sentience. Sentience? Sentinels. Whatever. For the first time in game. It looks pretty imposing. They look rather sci-fi-ish. Someone brought out, they look like the Reapers from Mass Effect. I kind of said they look like the Forerunners from Halo, but they look interesting, and I'm very curious to see how does this play out. So we'll see how this goes. I love the look for parkour. I hope it feels like that. I hope it looks like that. I hope it plays out like that. And I hope this update can come sooner rather than later. So that's it for Devstream 48, and this is it for Digest 30 and for TennoLIVE 2015. See you guys for next year's TennoLIVE, and see you guys for next week's, or next 2 weeks, or just in general, the next Devstream 49. So, till next time, take it easy, have fun, and see you guys in game.